Hi, and welcome to AI for UX. This is the space where UX researchers and product leaders stay current with AI innovations. I'm John Whalen, and I'm the founder of Brilliant Experience. We're a psychology-driven product innovation firm. In each installment, we speak to a founder of one of the latest AI-enhanced research tools and dive into its inspiration and how it might benefit you. And I'm very pleased to discuss Yasna with Tanya Berlina today. And just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. These videos are not product endorsements, and Brilliant Experience pays full price for any technologies we use, and no one's getting paid. It's just to learn more together. So with that, let me get started. I'd like to welcome Tanya. So Tanya is the Customer Success Director for Yasna.ai, and it's an empathetic AI agent that can automate conversational research moderation, collecting facts, opinions, and ideas from any audience in any country and any language. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm delighted to have you here.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for everyone who is watching us. And I'm sending you ciao and good vibes from Italy, where I'm based.
Excellent.
So
thank you.
I'm really looking forward, into our
Good.
talk.
Well, let's talk about Yasna. So maybe you can start by just telling me a little bit about who's the sort of ideal target audience for using Yasna and what kind of things, pain points does it address?
Well, I have to say that we are all researchers, market researchers in the background. The founders, myself. So I'm, for example, a qualitative person. So I've been doing qual for 20 years now. Yasna is doing almost all the job for me. Almost is a key word. We will talk about it later. So that's why our primary target audience, let's say market researchers, because we know who we are, we know the pains, we know the some specifics and so on. And when I'm talking about market researchers, I mean, it's also general. So we love working with market research agencies because we have a great technology that really helps, with the routine and leaving some space for them, for some creative work and so on. Also, of course, we love UX researchers, product managers, and also, of course, we work with the final clients, end clients, brands, international companies, and so on. Yeah.
Very nice. And so
I would put it.
Yeah. No, well said. And so, okay, so that's the target audience. So what's sort of the key thing that Yasna solves for me? What's sort of the pain point, or how do you help with their work?
Well, as a qual person, I have to say, and I know that my opinion is shared a lot because everyone understands that talking to real people is something that we really love. It's really hard, to replace it with the technology. Yeah? I mean, it would be great traveling all over the world, drinking a glass of, I don't know, wine or tea or whatever you like, talking to people about their, pains and see how they use different products, how they choose them, these consumer immersions and so on. It's great, enjoyable, and priceless. But it's super hard to scale, right? That's why our product, especially for to solve this problem, how to continue talking with people without actually talking to them. How to continue getting this depth but scale it, and scale it globally in different languages as well. So this is actually where Yasna and similar tools, I guess, come out because we really help with this kind of thing. So in-depth interviews, that you can scale.
And what would be a typical scenario for when a researcher or product team member might use your tool?
Well, actually, when we're talking about we all in order to create something, we need a lot of information. We need to explore. We need this kind of discovery tasks. Actually, what we help. With what we help is making this discovery process much simpler, much budget, much more faster, and budget saving as well. Yeah. So because when you really have an idea like, okay, I have to ask people about that, but then you understand that setup takes a lot of time. Yeah. And maybe it's not relevant anymore, but you can ask in the right moment very quickly these few questions that you really need. Yeah. And this really helps you to make your whole like process of decision making process, yeah, really faster and much more efficient at the end. Yeah, because you get the information you need at the right time, without a lot of efforts that a lot of money and time that we usually need for this kind of thing.
Yeah. And we haven't used Yasna ourselves in our work yet. But
Yet.
just in general, using tools that are sort of equivalent, we found that we've saved about 85% of our time. Like it's a really remarkable time when we're doing global, studies and multilingual and so on. So there
I
are,
think,
please go
so
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to add that it's even more. It's not just like it makes your no like your typical research is more efficient. Yeah, it's also about making some, conducting some of the studies that were impossible or impractical before. Yeah, like for example, global studies. Because this global research becomes really effortless. It's so easy to arrange it, to make it just sitting from, I don't know, you are at the beach or I don't know, or somewhere else on a holiday, yeah, or working in your office or at home, whatever. But you can really easily arrange and set up and do the research, all over the world, and then having all these results and insights and all together in one platform. So it's really something fantastic. I have to say, it really
Yeah.
makes the difference for the researchers, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to explain the the change in some ways for us qualitative people because we can do things in many languages, because we don't have to do any more scheduling. We can do things at a horrible time zone for us, and so even those
Yeah.
pragmatics
And sleep when
and
we
sleep.
need to sleep, right?
Some people, yes,
Yeah.
and absolutely, you're right. Well, and so you do have a tool that really lets us do more qualitative kind of interviews with people that are AI moderated. Or Yasna moderated, I should
But
say.
with quantitative scale, I think it's
Yeah.
important. We're really sorry again to
No,
interrupt
you're
you.
great.
Well, I'm from Italy, that's why I'm talking too much. I have an excuse. Yeah. So the thing is that it's a combination, of depth and scale. So actually, you get two in one. Because yes, you get this typical qualitative depth, but you also get the numbers, validation of all these results. At the end, you get a confidence, yeah, because you are sure, okay, this is a popular opinion, this is less popular opinion. So it's more than just qual, I have to say.
Yeah, that's very fair, and I appreciate you clarifying that. You're absolutely right. And so there are some other things that do AI moderation. So what makes Yasna a little different than the others?
Well, we really believe, and that's something that, of course, we haven't tried everything, yeah, and we really respect, competitors and so on. But we just hear from our clients, and we really love hearing that. We are proud to hear that the level of moderation is really good, and even if we're talking about some, rare languages, even, yeah, you still have this good quality of moderation and the analysis as well, because on the level of analysis you have both like findings, like typical, let's say, qualitative findings, but also you get these numbers, tables, and it's so easy, to work with all this because it's customizable as well. So I would say that we work really a lot and really hard on making Yasna be more and more human-like and to act itself, or I'm saying herself. I usually say that Yasna, it's a technology, but it deserves to be she because she's smart enough. So we are working on making Yasna more human-like, more qualitative researcher-like. So this is really important for us, and we see that it works, yeah, because it influences the report as well, the results.
So I think I have a sense because I've tried something similar, but for our viewers that have never tried anything like Yasna, have always done their own interviews,
Mhm.
or just never had the time to do interviews because they're a product person or something, how should they think about working with a tool like yours? So how would their work change and be different if they did subscribe to Yasna, for example?
Well, I think that the key thing here is that you really can get rid of the routine. But yeah, so you have a great helper with the routine processes. So and the positive thing here that your expertise is still needed. Yeah, so you have to do correct and smart setup. And then you just let Yasna go and conduct all these interviews, yeah, and then analyze it. And you can also, your expertise is needed when you analyze it as well. But how it changes? Well, it does all the routine work for you. Just imagine that you don't need to conduct all this, like, well, hundreds at the end of interviews. Yeah. You don't need to travel to spend a lot of time. You can get to your insights very, very quickly. Yeah. You save time, you save money, and you do, you get your results at the time you really need them, but not just like, well, in a month or something. Yeah. So it really makes your life as a researcher easier. And it really gives you more opportunities, for some creative work, for strategic work, because routine you can really trust to Yasna with a little bit of control, obviously.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. One of the things I was thinking about too was a lot of the people who are viewers think about, well, gosh, what if this thing hallucinates, or what if it has sort of bias in its interviews? So what are the ways that you try to approach sort of tuning your product, or you tuning Yasna to address these kind of things?
Yeah, it's a very fair question. Of course, we think about it, and we have some algorithms really to deal with it. And you can imagine, for example, if there is a product manager who is conducting interviews, and imagine Yasna, who is conducting interviews with the same people, who is more biased? Who has more bias? Obviously, Yasna doesn't have this bias. She has her own opinion. Yeah, she's she has, in our case, all the necessary prompts to behave herself like a really good qualitative researcher. No bias, no your opinion. Yes, you have some empathy, right? But you do not push people, to answer in a certain way, or you do not judge them. And frankly speaking, we know it from a lot of studies that we conduct, especially if we're talking about sensitive topics. We know that people feel so comfortable, we even ask them at the end for purpose, like if you prefer a real moderator, and they all say that it's, no, the AI is great because it's not too technical, but it doesn't judge me. Yeah, there is no bias. You feel absolutely comfortable with that. So this is one thing. Another thing about, some, I know there is a concern about very generic analysis and things like that. But in our case, for example, you have references to different interviews. Yeah, so you can really click and see that this is based, on these specific opinions and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, these are just the examples, but we are working on that. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
of course.
we've sort of talked a lot around it, but maybe we should actually show folks what it's like. So maybe you could give me
Sure.
a sense of, I know you've thought about sharing a little bit of Yasna. Maybe while I'm setting up the tool and just make sure your screen's being shared, you can give us the scenario of
With
what
pleasure.
we're going to
With
do.
pleasure. Yeah, I think it will be much more clearer. So yeah. Okay, great. So what I'm showing to you right now is the Yasno demo space. Actually, you can also get access to this one because if you sign in at Yasna.ai, you will have access to your personal closed space, but also to this with public cases. And there are a lot of really fun cases, about like Christmas ads and sex toys, by the way, about this sensitive topic and comfortable atmosphere, and business lunch and so on. So we always compare different cultures. So one of the recent studies was about cold remedy. The topic is trite, but it was fun. So don't forget to read, the insights, but I will just show you as an example of how to set up and do everything. So it's super easy and intuitive, really. So this is the setup page. You just type the name of your project. Then you give some context to Yasna. The idea is that imagine you are instructing a human moderator. What should I need to know? Yeah, I need to know who is the target audience and more or less like overall objectives. Yeah, like I'm testing, I know some creatives, or I'm asking about like U&A in some category, whatever. Yeah, or how people
Tanya,
choose something.
yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I just because it was that moment. I was thinking about we've done things with scientists that might have very special vocabulary, or even like business to business things are like that. Or we
Mm-hmm.
might want to tell it about sort of the business, like what are the business strategic reasons I'm doing the research to begin with. Is that the kind of thing I would put in this context?
Yes, yes. You by the way, it's also really important to specify your target audience. Like you are talking to experts in this sphere, yeah. Because Yasna is very adaptive also and flexible, so she is really good in communicating, you know, in very specific topics with very specific people. So that's why, yeah, it's better to give that kind of context, yeah. So
Okay,
she
good.
won't. And by the way, if you need specific words in a specific language, so you want Yasna to use blah 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 in Japanese, you know, when talking about something, just write it to her. She will use the right word, yeah, because we all know that it's really important, yeah, to use the right terminology. Okay, so then the interview flow, you just actually type your questions and that's it. So you can do it, well, level of control is up to you. If you want, you can write very generic things like ask them about their, I don't know, habits and ask them how do they choose, I don't know, laundry detergent, whatever, yeah? And then, or you can be very precise and write specific questions and also give Yasna instructions, probe on these specific aspects, yeah, or give some logics. If respondents answer yes, then blah blah blah. If respondents answer no, then another blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's up to you. What you can also check here is how Yasna actually understands you. Yeah. So you type your questions again, if you want, in a very generic way, and then you will see what Yasna is going to ask, and you are like, okay, good. I like it. Go on with that. Yeah. You can also add stimulus materials. Yeah. So you can add image, video, or text. So if you want to test concepts, creatives, designs, whatever you need, you can do that. Also, you will see the approximate length. By the way, it's very important to keep these conversations really short, around 15-20 minutes, because it's one-on-one chats. Yeah, it's also important to understand. So it's one-on-one chats where Yasna types and shows the materials if needed, and the respondents they can choose if they want to type or if they want to answer with voice. Yeah, so voice responses we also support.
Tanya,
And by yeah,
oh, just a real quick question, but so
sure.
how do I know if it's going to use exactly the words I've got, say in that question 8 that's showing right now,
Mhm.
or that it's going to say like something equivalent to that?
Something equivalent, because the idea is that it's very very natural conversation, you know. Yasna uses like maybe the style that is more appropriate, you know, to this person. She might change some questions, but if you want her to use this specific words that you wrote, you can ask her, do not change anything, ask the
I see.
question the way it is. Yeah, so it's very flexible, really. I know that
And
researchers, you know, have different level of
right.
engagement. Usually they want to control everything, especially, you know, in the market research agencies, but it's up to you.
And sorry, my last question was just:
Yeah.
will I know if Yasna will be giving follow-up questions or not?
Yes, Yasna will ask probing questions. And by probing questions, we mean, thank you for asking that, by the way. It's very important. That what makes her human-like, yeah? So if people answer in a generic way, and the information is not sufficient, it doesn't have a lot of sense, yeah? So it means that Yasna will probe. But what exactly do you mean? Give me more details. Yeah, when you are saying this, what exactly do you mean? Yeah, so these kind of things. So the agent, well, you can change Yasna into someone else. You can change the name. You can choose one of the avatars that you see here. You can upload another avatar if you want. Yeah, so to make it more relevant to certain geography and target audience as well. You can also choose tone of voice, respectful or more informal, based on your target audience, and sometimes on geography. Yeah, because some countries are much more informal than others. You can activate these voice answers so people can use this option. Then you do the chat preview so you have to play the respond. We recommend you to play the respondent to see if you like the flow, and then continue with the field work, because you have to be sure that you have asked everything you wanted, that it's not annoying, because it should be an enjoyable journey, let's say, yeah, for our respondents. But at the same time, it should give you the information that you need. Yeah. So then you just go to the participant section. You can activate the screening option here. So for example, if you recruit people from a panel or from a database, and then you want them, you want these people to be screened out or in by a certain criteria. So you just type what you want, what kind of people do you want in this survey. And Yasna will ask a few questions before jumping into the chat. And then you just create the link. Yeah, and you can choose one of we have around 50 languages now on the platform. So you can choose one of these languages, and then, so it will be preset, and then you just copy this link and send it over to your respondents via email. Yeah, you can connect it with a panel. We can do the recruitment for you, by the way, if you want. We do not have our own panel, but we partner with some panel providers. Yeah, so we can help you with that. Then, once your interviews are done, you can read all the transcripts. Yeah, so you see all these hundreds of interviews that were completed in the native language. So unfortunately, I don't know Thai, because this was also Thailand. So you can translate in 1 second, as you see, even less, I don't know, very quickly. So these are the summaries of the interviews, yeah, kind of a storytelling, but you have all full transcripts that you can also translate, download, filter, and so on. And I would like to show you the report beta. It's the new version of our reporting. So it's really easy and very customizable. So actually what you need to do, let me show you. You just click on this plus. Then you choose if you want findings or table. Yeah, so if you want, maybe you want percentages. Why not? Yeah, because you've conducted hundreds of interviews. Then you choose one of the topics of the guide, yeah, whichever you want. And then actually you type what you want to know. So it means that Yasna goes to all the transcripts within this topic, and she's getting some information for you, the analysis. You can also ask AI to help you with this instruction. And also, as we know, we researchers really love this kind of comparison between different subgroups, right? So sometimes we need to understand the differences between the countries, between the age groups, between the brand users, yeah, and so on. So this is also something that you can do here. So this is
hey,
like,
Tanya,
yeah.
I just have a couple. This is really interesting, and I'll let you talk about these in just a sec. So you
Yeah,
had
sure.
mentioned, so it can ask a question of a specific subset of the interviewees, and I actually wondered, is this also designed for if I had, say, 3 studies I had done, that I could look at, say, 2 of those 3, or do you see where I'm going? So if I start to have a research repository, or is it really more focused on this particular interview set?
This particular interview set. Yeah. So
That's
it's
great.
within this particular interview set. Exactly. So for example, what we found out that modern medicine, like antibiotics and some some pharmacies and so on, much more popular in Thailand than in Austria. It was really impressive. So usually you think, like you have stereotypes that it's much more, in Thai, all this traditional medicine. But this is something that really Austrians prefer more. We learned a lot about how they love onions, and they use it like with some syrups and so on. So it was really fun. Yeah, so when you, for example of the comparison, yes, so here we compare different countries. So you have specific report for one country, another country, and the comparison with common features, unique features, and so on. So, well, actually, we have a lot of different functions here, and we have text processing, by the way. For example, if you want to code, the open-ended answers from a quantitative study, you can also do that on our platform. Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
different
yeah.
functions, but
You know,
overall, yeah.
Tanya, if you bring us back to just one of the ones that had quotes with the numbers, I was anticipating that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the write up on it that had a couple of the
Okay.
participant numbers. I think. Yeah, perfect. So the pharmacist
Hmm.
advice, for
This one.
example. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's actually giving us a link to the source that bullet point was made of.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. So you can, if you just click, yeah, you see the quote, yeah, but you can also click on this interview and then
Mhm.
you will have it. So you can go deeper, like, maybe there is something interesting as well. I want to understand the context and so on. And you can also translate it in one click as well. Yeah. So
And
these are the
are,
references.
are these typically recorded as transcripts, or would I be recording a video of the participant?
No, video, we don't have this option
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Got it.
Who knows what there will be in future.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, from the respondent side, it could
Right.
be a text or a voice, and
Mm-hmm.
but you can't hear the voice, yeah, for privacy reasons and so on. So you can see it as a transcript,
Got
yeah.
it.
But voice is something really incredible because
Interesting.
a lot of people love it, and they give you much more details, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if they answer with a voice. But we do not oblige people. We know that people are different; they can do whatever they want.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I'll let you continue if there are other things you want to show us.
No, I mean, well, in a nutshell, it's more or
Mm-hmm.
less like this. I promised you that it's easy. So
Yeah.
you have just a few steps. Yeah, you just do the setup. Then you create a link, you share it with your participants, you have all the transcripts, and you get the analysis. That's it.
The
So
one
that's
thing
super
we
easy.
we didn't do is actually see the sort of participant experience, and it's okay if it's not something you can show right now. That's fine. But I guess I was wondering, since you do talk about Yasna, is it sort of a I guess I'm wondering if it's actually spoken to you or it's simply text that you see and respond to. Um,
Okay. I don't know if you could see it. I hope so. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the experience as a respondent. Yeah. So I can choose the language, or maybe the language will be preset, so I can see it in
Mm-hmm.
Italian or whatever I need. Yeah. So I start chatting. So I also, by the way, can cut you. Can customize the first message, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
initial message if you want. So Yasna is asking my name. My name is Tanya. Yeah, so well, it's very natural experience, like any messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. So now I can, for example, choose if I want, I can click on this microphone and answer, yeah, or I can continue typing. That's how it works.
Got it. Okay, good. Yeah, it was really. Uh, and is there? Um, sorry, what I'm asking is, you feel like the Yasna team has worked very hard on making this much more humanistic, and you actually, rather than calling it, there's a competitor called Listen Labs, and it just doesn't mention sort of a human-like name like Yasna. Is there anything you try to do to make this more, I don't know, friendly or natural, or something that you would relate to more? I just wasn't sure if there was. It seems like something that Yasna emphasizes, so I just wanted to ask you about it.
So we really work on the fact that we want Yasna to feel to behave herself really natural
Mm-hmm.
and like a smart human. Yes. So, for example, taking into consideration everything that was said during this interview,
Mm-hmm.
not just what was said right now within this topic. Yeah, within this like set of questions, but really what was said like in the beginning of the interview, things like, but
Mm-hmm.
previously, as you did with me right now, yeah, like previously you mentioned blah blah blah. So
Right.
this is what we would really like Yasna to do, because for us the main thing is to focus on the quality of the information is extracted from people. Yeah, because at the end, the better, you do the moderation, the better results you get, the deeper are your insights and so on.
Yeah. Interesting. So I think you've showed everything you wanted to. Have we covered most of Yasna that you wanted to? Wonderful.
Yes, I think
Okay.
so. I can
Well,
talk about
well,
Yasna almost forever.
well,
But
cool. Well,
yeah,
let me
let's
talk to
say
you a little bit.
all the key functions.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for doing that. And it's much clearer. I think we get a good sense of how it flows and how it works, and that, um, one question I wanted to ask you was, you've got
Yeah.
it set up for shorter interviews, and I think this is another sort of transformation of how I might think as an interviewer, where I can only do 8 interviews if it's me, so I need to make sure it's like an hour long or something and get as much as I can. So why the thinking that we might do shorter interviews, and maybe, I'm assuming you're thinking maybe more of them. Is that kind of how it's designed?
Well, the thing is that I mean, technically, you can do this hour, and
Right.
people can start communicating, and then they, I don't know, go and drink their tea, and then they come back and they continue. This is something possible. But what we see based on our experience, that when people are focused, respondents are focused, it's much more fruitful at the end, yeah, because they
Right.
are very engaged. But they can't be, even if it wasn't Yasna, but it was me. I mean, for how long people could be engaged? We're not talking about their friends, or some super, sometimes it's not, well, it's maybe an interesting topic, but not the one they would like to talk for
Yeah.
hours, typing and sending voice responses and so on. So I think it comes from a natural experience. Yeah. Obviously, you and me, we will be happy to do it for 15, 20 minutes, but more or less that's it. No? And then, okay, I need to do something else.
Yeah.
That where it comes from.
Got
And
it.
you're absolutely right that it's a new approach that we have to keep in mind. So you have to divide your big tasks into smaller ones. And you should do, but on the other hand, you can do your qual research as often as you need.
Right.
Because before it was like, okay, I would like to
Yeah.
have these interviews, but I have just, I know, 10 questions to ask. Not much, but I need to know that. Yeah. And you are like, okay, maybe next time, we're going to have some interviews in a month. I will ask there, but it won't be relevant anymore, right? So it's another approach. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
another approach, but much more flexibility at the end.
Yeah. It is interesting that we can have much more sort of real time knowledge. I mean, seeing how people work with all these large language models is a good example where it changes so fast that having that ability to do little
Yeah.
bits over time might be really interesting. Well, let me take a big
Yeah.
step back. You and your team at Yasna have made this amazing thing, and clearly that. I have not been brave enough to make a tool like yours, and it just takes so much energy and determination and trial and effort and so on. What inspired you all to create this product in the first place?
Well, frankly speaking, it's just because we're, as I said in the beginning, we're all market researchers. We are in the industry for many years, and our founders, they really love tech things, yeah, and they really love doing something that is on the edge, yeah, and to do something that really helps, to make this research process easier and much more efficient, and at the same time do something challenging. I mean, it's always great. Yeah, it gives you something
Yeah,
personal. I mean, yeah, on the emotional
sure.
level. Like, I will try to do that. I want to understand how it works. Yeah, I
Right.
don't want to miss the opportunity. So I think there are actually a lot of things. But the idea that you are like you are on the edge, you are trying to do something fun. Yeah, because it's really interesting
It
and
is.
it's an exciting experience, for us as well, but at the same time really efficient, that helps researchers to make to work again efficiently, sorry for this word, but it's true, yeah, save time, money, efforts, but also to get more free time for some creative work, just not just the
Mm-hmm.
routine, but to have some time, to think, to create something exciting. Yeah, like if we're talking about UX researchers, like you have more time to do some workshop with your colleagues to create something and then quickly test it, and Yasna will
Mm-hmm.
help you to do all this routine, and then you can think how to improve your idea. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then so I think for the whole process of creating ideas, of improving ideas, it's a great helper that changes your life for the best at the end, makes your work, everyday work, much more interesting at the end, I think, and enjoyable
Mm-hmm.
and pleasant.
Right when I first started using tools like these, I was worried about their quality, and I was also like, I missed doing the getting that personal interaction, and so it is a sort of mental transition. But in the end, it does, like you're saying, give us more time for maybe storytelling or for convincing stakeholders to really take action based on the what we're finding. So, well,
Yes, that's true.
I,
Yeah, but
well,
sorry to interrupt you.
no,
I
please
also
go.
have, an idea that, well, suggestion that anyway, well, sometimes I also miss, I fully understand you, this
Mm-hmm.
personal communication and so on. And to my point of view, it won't die, and disappear. To my point of view, it's gonna be like a luxury service or something like that, because I mean, you can't just, talk to people via Yasna. Yeah, it helps you a lot. But sometimes you still need a little bit, at least to start, yeah, to do some interviews to get this feeling, to get
Mm-hmm.
some hypothesis, and then you can use Yasna, to check this in other markets, with other target audiences.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like you can combine it with the things you love and the things you trust. So I think it's a creative approach.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a
It,
creative approach.
No, it's very fair. And I guess I've also found that ultimately we can be a little bit more inclusionary in that we can, I never would have brought people in from Thailand for as a representative example. We wouldn't have time and space. We might have only
Mhm.
tested Americans or what Europeans or something. So I think that is a real positive for this general approach. Let me ask you a little bit about
Yeah.
Yasna again. Is there anything that you feel like sort of an accomplishment you've had or a milestone that you all are particularly proud of? Like it does a lot.
Well, we are really proud, when we get some positive responses from our clients, especially when this is about, some very, very specific targets. Like, for example, our client says, we conducted interviews with doctors, very, very specific sphere, really. I can't even, pronounce it. So Yasna is much smarter for that kind of type of things. And we did it in Japanese, and we did it in I know in Spanish, and in Chinese and something else. And our clients were happy with the result. So I think it means that Yasna is really doing its job,
Mm-hmm.
at a really good level, and this is something we can be proud of, really.
Very fair. Well, and the other thing I guess I was thinking about was, I joke and say, here's how I used to do research way back in 2022, for example. But let me actually think the opposite direction. And I know, none of us are perfect at imagining the future, but where do you see your product evolving over the next while? And how do you see people like me doing research or product people and so on? How do you see our approach to research evolving over time?
Well, I think that it's inevitable that we have to face the truth. It's becoming really our reality. I think it will definitely, this type of, like, we call it conversational research, yeah, this type of thing. So it will become popular, and researchers will, and UX researchers and the agencies and the end clients, they will use it because the benefits are obvious, yeah, and you can't, you have have nothing, to to compare it with. Yeah, you can combine quant and qual. You don't need to think about these compromises. Yeah, you can open yourself up for the whole world and do research in any country you want. Yeah, you can do some really exciting things with it. So you will use it. I think it means that you will have more exciting projects, much more global projects, much more really interesting approaches. Yeah, maybe we will come up with some interesting combination of, traditional and AI-based methods. Or maybe, yeah, I suppose that some of us might lose our jobs, but I think those who understand the value of this type of, let's say, instruments, yeah, and platforms, they will win. Yeah. So you have to understand that you have start using it, offering it to your clients. And it's very important to understand how to use it, for which use cases, how to use it much more efficiently, how to combine it with your expertise. Let's see how it will go. But I believe that researchers, and this expertise, human expertise, is still needed, and I hope it will last for some time. Why
You know,
not?
you mentioned there's some really good use cases for this. So I just thought I should ask you to be sort of explicit in your mind. What are the sort of ideal use cases for a tool like Yasna?
Well, we're still exploring it again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we see for now that some of the really good use cases are the first one is like, let's say, all these exploratory tasks, yeah, discovery. When you need to understand how people use a product or a service, what is their journey, yeah, what kind of I know drivers and barriers do they have, or you want to understand how people choose between different brands, yeah, this kind of thing. Because in conversational research, you will get this depth, but you will also scale it so you can understand, how popular is this or that opinion. Yeah, if it's a rare thing or if it's a popular scenario, and this is very helpful. So let's say exploratory or discovery tasks. Number one. Number two is like validation of the ideas, like creatives, designs, concepts, and so on. So when you not just need, there's no just need to choose one, two, or three, but when you need to get details, nuances in order to improve your ideas, yeah, to develop them and
Yeah.
make them better, yeah, and then test again, for example. And the third big thing, I think, this global studies. Yeah, so it's an opportunity to go to the markets you have never been to. Yeah, it's an opportunity to compare different cultures, to find some cultural specifics, and then also adapt your product or service to some cultural specifics as well. So let's say these three big things. Yeah.
No, well said, and thank you for that sort of spontaneous question. I really appreciate it. Well, and so if folks have those kind of situations and they want to give Yasna a try now that they've seen what it can do, how do you recommend they get started?
You are more than welcome to sign in at Yasna.ai, and then you will have a 2-week trial, which means that you will have 500 credits, which means, for example, if your guide is around 10 questions, you can conduct 50 interviews for free. Yeah, and accessing all the features that we have, including voice responses, customizable avatar, and so on. So please feel free. It costs you nothing. Yeah, you just need to sign in. You will have access to Yasno demo space with some public cases, and you will have all the instructions because we have Yasna's handbook on our platform, and you are more than welcome to contact me and ask for a demo. By the way, every Thursday we have demos. Yeah, so we host a very cozy webinar where I actually do the demo of the platform, and then there is a Q&A session. So we usually really have our tea, coffee, and just talk about very practical things on how to use it.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping to cover, and I
Thank you.
first of all, yeah, thank you, Tanya, for showing us everything about
Thank you, John.
Yasna. And so here, I'll just go ahead and sign us out. So, well, that's all for
Please do,
today.
please do.
Oh, yeah. And thank you for tuning in and keeping up with the latest AI for research. And of course, subscribe and let us know what else you'd like to see next and ask any questions about Yasna. I'm sure we can follow up. So thank you all very much and wishing you brilliant insights with AI.